DJ Lunchbox for that awesome talky stuff. And now it's time for our interview for this week. We have a very special guest on this week's show, Texas independent wrestling star and now nationally known star, one absolute Ricky Starks. Ricky, how are you doing?
How are you guys doing today?
Very good.
I just answered your question with a question. I'm sorry about that.
Well, we have you on the show for certain reasons, but what we like to do on the Mayhem show whenever we have a guest on is to see, what got them started in professional wrestling, where they sort of got their start. And I don't think your stories have much known. Like, where did you sort of get your start in professional wrestling?
Funny thing, I got my start at the same place that ACH, Holt Brady, Jojo Bravo, Carson, and Barbie all got their start at, which was at George De La Isla School in Austin. ACH went on to get more training, but me and the groups of people got our brunt of training at that place. So it's weird that we all started at the same place in Austin, Texas.
Very cool. And you've been going in for how many years?
Close to 4.5 years now. It's 3 years now, so 3.5 almost.
Yeah, and I mean, you're starting to branch out, I think, a lot more in that short period of time. And I always, the first time I saw you, your character, I think, sort of carries a lot of what you do. Where do you sort of get your personality that comes, into being absolute Ricky Starks?
Well, I mean, you would have to explain to people what my personality or my character is for someone who's never watched me, but I really... I don't think about it like that, because that's just me naturally, to be honest with you. I mean, there's people that I liked when I was growing up. The Rock was one big influence. The Undertaker, for sure, one of my favorites. Mankind. So, all those different personalities I seem to somehow inherit into me. And that's who makes, Ricky as a whole. But I mix that in there with my normal personality, and that's what you see.
Yeah, and you sort of carry yourself very highly. I love any time you get to sort of cut a promo or do anything like that, because you think of stuff sort of off the fly that I think that sort of comes naturally to you. Do you sort of think out the stuff that you sort of say and talk about, when you're cutting a promo or doing something like that, because you tend to be very entertaining in those aspects?
You know what? I don't get a lot of promo time in Texas. So when I do, it's very very abrupt and it's very sudden. You know what I mean? At the recent Inspire show, that was very sudden. I was just given the mic. So most of my promos are off the top of my head, and I don't know. I just go out there and I say what I feel sometimes, and that's what comes out. So I don't really think about things like I should. I should think about things, but I really don't.
Yeah, well, you mentioned Inspire Pro, a company that we do talk about. I do want to mention something from there, since I obviously was a part of that event, and you had a really fantastic match, sort of a show stealer, with a guy that I know you've been wrestling a lot, and someone that I came up in the same school with you, Holt Brady, and it was a very entertaining match, and you sort of, you two, the way I described it is you two sort of topped each other each time. You couldn't figure out sort of the moment in which to put the other one away. You were just topping each other every single time. And I think from what it seemed, that you got a bit frustrated. And of course, Bolt picked up the victory by disqualification due to the 5 count being instituted and not breaking the hold in time. What do you think about that match specifically? Did you let that frustration sort of get the best of you, do you think?
Well, I'm a natural hothead. I have a very, very short temper, in the ring as well as in real life too. So I blow up really easily, and situations like that is an example of that. So that's why that happened. But as far as the match goes, I think the match, in my opinion, I think I came out a lot stronger than Bolt did. I think I was a lot more on edge, except for one mistake, at the end. But I think for the majority of that match, I had Bolt pretty much beat. It was just me not capitalizing on the right moment to put him away for good.
Yeah, definitely. And you didn't necessarily get the victory, but you do have an opportunity to sort of redeem yourself at the next event against Sean Vex. Are you looking at that match in a particular way? Are you sort of taking it differently than you would your match with Bolt?
Well, that match, I'll be in a different mindset this time around, especially with Sean, just because of Sean being he's a veteran. He's more of a veteran than Bolt, of course. So he has been around the block, and he's trained with some great people. So my mindset's going to be a lot different than I had with Bolt. But that's not to say that, I'm going to take it easy on Sean. I'll just be a lot more open to what he is capable of doing or what he may do.
Absolutely. And that'll certainly be a great match. Speaking of great matches, you mentioned that you've only been doing this for about 3 years and, sort of a short period of time. You've gotten a lot of great matches, especially as of late. And you've gotten to wrestle a lot of great people. For example, like in Anarchy Championship Wrestling, you've been wrestling guys now like ACH and Davey Vega. I know next month you're wrestling another friend of the Wrestling Mayhem show, Gary J, in a match.
Yeah.
Are you sort of feeling more comfortable stepping up to sort of like the guys that are sort of, becoming more independent mainstays now, and are you feeling more confident that you're sort of, holding your own with them?
Yeah, for sure. I think as you start to get more experience, the confidence starts to come out more. And I think a turning point really was, in my opinion, was the match I had with Evan, Evan Jalistico. That match gets overlooked, I think, because I really think that was a really, really great match. Especially with what was on the line, which was the Anarchy Championship heavyweight title. So I really do think that me wrestling these guys, especially me wrestling Gary J at the upcoming show, I think I'm starting to finally find a groove, and I think wrestling these guys is helping me a lot more than other matches I've had in the past.
Very cool. And you're sort of wrestling a lot of the bigger names there. And, not just necessarily in Anarchy, not just in Texas, but is there any specific names that you think you want to face, eventually down the line?
Oh, for sure. One of my favorites I would like to work would be, I really want to work Shane Haste. I would really like that. If you guys know who Shane Haste is. The Japanese guys. I really want to work Nakamura. He's one of the cooler names. As far as the United States guys go, there's a slew of them. Hell, I would say all of ROH's roster, of course. Davey Richards. Kyle O'Reilly, I really like to go against him. You know who else I would really like to work? Matthew Palmer. That's one of another name I really would like.
That's a match I would definitely love to see.
Yeah, because I don't know, something about him. He captivates a lot of people. So I'd really like that, to see how that works, and just go in there and go at it.
You mentioned Ring of Honor. I almost forgot to mention that you actually got to compete for Ring of Honor when they came down to the San Antonio area as a part of a pre-show match. How was that experience, sort of working for that company and getting an opportunity for what, many people are considering like the number 3 company like in the U.S. right now?
That experience is pretty surreal, just because that is, how you go to WWE, and that's a cool experience. But then me going to ROH was a different experience for the fact of, that is a big, big name. Like that's the second big name in my opinion to go work for. And going there and being amongst those guys and being on that show was a very, very different experience, much different than what I ever experienced at WWE. That's for sure. But it's very humbling to know that you're capable of going there and wrestling there and traveling with those guys. So it was a nice taste to have, and makes you a lot hungrier. That's for sure.
Definitely, yeah. And well, you mentioned WWE, and we do have you on this show for a very specific reason, because things are sort of heating up over in the WWE for you. You could say you a couple weeks ago got into a little backstage confrontation with Ryback, the former Skip Sheffield, and things didn't turn out so great for you. What were you thinking when that I guess that beast of sort of confronted you?
I was thinking of his old catchphrase, "Yep, yep, yep." What do you do? No, it's funny. I standing there in front of him because he is such a huge dude. Standing there, I was just like, "Wow, this is pretty crazy." Because a lot of people don't realize, and I think it's a great inside joke, that I had wrestled him before,
Right.
not even less than a year ago. I think it is a year ago. I wrestled him on SmackDown, and not a lot of people know that. So to face him again was like, it's funny to me, but it also sucked too because my back got messed up and got slapped in the face. But I don't know, just standing in front of that dude, he's such a mountain of a man. It's like, wow, what have I got myself into?
And you mentioned that there's a theory going around
either,
that there's a possibility that he sort of recognized that he had a past match with you, and that may have caused him to sort of get more angry, seeing that you're still around. You think your presence almost caused him to go crazy like that?
I feel like it, yeah. I really do because you know how you fight somebody and you put them out and you think that's the end of them and you hope to not see them again and you hope they stay down. I think that's what it was. And when he saw me trying to, get a meal, because I was probably 5 meals behind on my daily diet, he took it upon himself to try to put me out again. So maybe third time's the charm. Who knows? But I really do think that he has a vendetta against me. Now, WrestleMania 33 is looking up to be a very great card, in my opinion, in the future.
So absolutely.
Really towards that. I think the headlining match is me and Ryback.
WrestleMania 33, I'm calling it.
Now,
I don't want to spoil anything for you guys.
Now, as a point of clarification, is that chicken salad, tuna salad, egg salad, or ham salad?
You guys ready for this?
Yeah.
It was tuna salad.
Oh.
Question been answered.
Fresh fair catering.
I do have to wonder because the one thing I noted was that was a pretty shoddy catering table they had. Like you guys had now that we know tuna salad and bread. Was that all that was available?
For that small table, yeah. There's 2 catering rooms. One for one for the arena workers, as I'm called, and and then one for the main roster. So
now
I think that was the leftovers. But that's the closest. That catering was the closest to the bathroom that you come out of. So I think he came out of the bathroom and needed a quick water break or something.
Now, here's another question. How do you feel knowing that you probably took food out of Zack Ryder's mouth?
Oh, man. You know what? I feel kind of shitty, but I don't feel that bad because when I was walking to the room to change my wet, soggy clothes that was ripped up, I saw him chuckling, and I was kind of hurt by that a bit. I wondered, geez, Ryder, why would you, why would you chuckle at me? You've been in the same position before, so.
You got pushed off the stage in a wheelchair is all you need to say to him.
Oh, good point. Good point.
If you ever see Zack Ryder again, just say that.
I should just come with the wheelchair, and that'll make him think twice.
Now, for the obviously eventual match that will be happening between you and Ryback, do you have any certain strategy that going into it? Have you faced someone his size, and also, if you were to face someone his size, what would be your strategy?
You know what? I feel like I faced someone close to his size, and that was Jack Bane.
Yeah, that's true.
Cutting a big dude down is not that hard, in my opinion. I'll be pretty equipped. I have a bowl of tuna ready.
Whole tuna ready.
I have some crutches ready, so I'll be good to go. Hopefully, someone makes a meme of me and Ryback, 10 years ago, and then 10 years later. Hopefully, that happens. I can show them that.
Well, I can be the one of many to say that I cannot wait for that match to eventually occur. It's going to be an absolute bar burner. I just know it. we do have one final question, and I think I'm going to shoot this over to AJ since he's sort of the originator of this question. It's a big question that we ask every single one of our guests here on the Wrestling Mayhem show, and Ricky Starks, we're about to ask you, AJ.
This may be the biggest.
I hope it's not how big is Batista's dick, because I don't know.
I bet it's veiny. So this is a question that I came up with that as part of an interview for Rachel Summerlin. I think it's the first person who got it.
I love her.
And now, as we've interviewed various guests, I've never actually got to ask the question. I emailed the question in. I've never got to ask the question. So, Ricky Starks, if you were a vegetable, what would you be and why?
A cucumber, because a lot of women fuck themselves with it.
That is a good answer. Write that one down.
There you go.
Count it.
Stellar answer. Well, thank you, Ricky, for giving us all that information and letting us know a little bit more about you. Where can anyone find you on the internet if they want to check you out and if they want to send you supportive messages for your war with Ryback?
Well, on Facebook you can find me at rickystarks.com. Just look for the guy that looks like a wrestler. There's other clowns on there that have the same name, but you'll know me and you'll see me. I'm on Twitter also, StarkmanJones. There's no .com for that. It's just StarkmanJones. And my website is Ricky Starks, www.rickystarks.com. And those are the three places that you guys can find me the most at, especially on my Twitter.
Awesome.
Very cool. Thanks. Well, thank you very much for joining us, and I believe we're going to shoot it possibly to Wrestling Mayhem Show Gold and see we got going on over there. So,
all right. Well, thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, no problem.